Okay, Bezrat Hashem, good Erev Pesach to everybody, everyone from the TV. Bezrat Hashem, I wanted to speak a little bit about a very important topic. I'm sure everybody is getting ready to get rid of their chametz and getting ready to make their search, maybe learning all halachas about what to say and all the nice things. There's another topic which is extremely important to not forget totally, and that is a question of trying to remove your internal chametz, the chametz of the heart. And I wanted to speak a little bit about that topic, maybe try to tie it together with a very important topic at the Seder. There's an interesting drush that Chazal tell us. The pasuk says, "Ushmartem es hamatzos." You should guard the matzos. And Chazal, in their holy way, they do a very interesting thing with that pasuk. They say, "Don't read matzos. Rather, you should read mitzvos. Don't read matzos. Read mitzvos. You should guard the mitzvos. If a mitzvah comes to your hand, don't let it become chametz." And obviously, on the simple level, this is a question which is asked by the Shla. The pasuk says matzos. It's not talking about mitzvahs. It's talking about matzos. Matzos is a very nice mitzvah. It doesn't say about mitzvos. It says matzos. So how are you changing the whole implication of the pasuk, which is talking about Pesach? You're making a whole big musar board out of it. So the Shla HaKodesh, she says a very beautiful idea, which is something that I really think is important to know, and it's something that can really help us focus on one of the goals of eating matzah at the Seder, and also help us to prepare to remove our spiritual chametz, Bezrat Hashem, before Pesach. And he says like this, he says, the matzah itself has a direct connection with all the mitzvos. Very simple idea, he says, and Ramchal says the same thing. He says the matzah represents the Yetzer Tov. Just like we know the chametz represents the Yetzer Hora, he says the matzah represents the Yetzer Tov, and the idea is the Yetzer Tov is a very special gift that Hashem has given us, which is a part of us that joins together with us and gives us a desire to serve Hashem. It gives us a great excitement about the mitzvos and helps us to fight our Yetzer Hora. And this is something which is a very central point of our free will. And basically, the Shla says that the intention of the Torah, you're supposed to guard the matzahs. It doesn't just mean guarding them and make sure there's no chametz. It means guarding them so they should come to their proper goal. The matzahs have a goal. The goal is to help connect us to the Yetzer Tov. That's the goal. And the goal is to connect us to the Yetzer Tov. So we should want to do mitzvos with great alacrity and great enthusiasm for the rest of the year. And when Chazal tell us, says the Shla, that we are supposed to not read matzahs, rather read mitzvahs, they're trying to explain to us what the pshat is, because the pshat is when it says guarding the matzahs, it means guard the matzahs so they come to bring you to do the mitzvahs. And so when the mitzvah comes to your hands, you won't let it become chametz. You're going to run to go do it. You're going to be very excited because you ate the matzahs. And that's exactly the intention of the pasuk, says the Shla. The question is, we all eat matzahs, Bezrat Hashem. We all get excited about our mitzvah to eat matzah. And how exactly do we do this? How do we do it? So we're going to guard the matzah to make sure it's going to affect us, to give us more Yetzer Tov, to bring us to want to do mitzvahs the whole year. How do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? And the answer is, there might be different answers, but the answer I would like to share with you today is a very important point, which I think is very worth trying to focus on as Pesach approaches. And it goes like this. There's a very special yesod, which perhaps you've heard before, which says, Hashem takes a person in the way they want to go. If a person wants to serve Hashem, a person wants to come close to Hashem, Hashem will take him in that way. So the way that we get the matzah really to work, to give it a place to fall down in your heart and to connect with you for real, is when you eat the matzah with desire that it should bring you closer to Hashem's avodah, then it actually will bring you close to Hashem's avodah. Hashem takes you in the way you want to go. And this is something which is relevant for everybody. It's relevant for Nevin down to the first year guy, at least the first year guy Pesach time. I'm not sure if it's relevant to the first year guy before Pesach time, but certainly any first year nativ guy, by the time we get to Pesach, even if he doesn't have a burning desire to want to serve Hashem yet, certainly most everybody can at least want. If a person is actively involved with wanting to serve Hashem, they certainly will want to serve Hashem even more. There's no end. There's no end. However big you are, you can always get more, and that's a wonderful thing. You eat the matzahs, that's going to help you strengthen next year. But even if you might be in a state where you feel like it doesn't resonate with you so much, that serving Hashem, you're doing it because you have to do it. You don't want to go to hell, and you want to go to good place after 120, but you do it because you need to do it. But at least a person can understand sometimes that they want, even if their heart isn't pounding yet to want, they want to want. Wanting to want is a very, very important part of growth. just focusing and getting excited about awakening a want to want. If you go in there at Pesach, I want to serve Hashem, even though I know my heart it's not there yet totally. That's the beginning. And then you eat the matzahs that'll help to bring you on your way to really want to serve Hashem. That is the place to start working. It's interesting, Chazal say, we don't have any ratzon to do we don't have any other ratzon except to do your ratzon of Avinu Sheb'Shamayim. What's stops us? It's called the source of Isa. It's the chametz. The chametz stops us from being the rest of excitement about it. At least we can want to have that. We want to get closer. We want to want. I want to get closer. I want to want. That's already removing the chametz. The chametz distracts you and doesn't let you focus on serving Hashem. You don't want to serve Hashem, and you won't. Yeah, even if you get excited about doing the mitzvah of the matzah, you get excited about the mitzvahs a little bit. But the real chametz cleaning is trying to get out that chametz so you want to serve Hashem. When you come in to Pesach with that at least I want to serve Hashem, and you recognize that's an important part of the growth process, the beginning of the growth process, and you eat your matzah to try to come closer to Hashem. That will help you. That will give you the Yetzer Tov, which will actually become closer, which will actually help bring you closer to Hashem, Bezrat Hashem, for the next year. Bezrat Hashem. That is the message I'd like to share with you. Just trying to focus on that inner want to want. If you already want to, so want to even more. It'll be very easy to want even, once you're on the path and you'll want even more. It's very easy to understand. And the matzah is our special gift that brings us to that completion. It's very interesting. I'll just end with this very quickly. It's interesting that Chazal describe, it says a person who eats matzah early, before the Seder, it says it's like they have relations with their kala beforehand. And what in the world, early, before they get married, before they get married, what is the connection between the matzah and the kala? Even though this is a very interesting, deep topic, on the most simple level, the matzah, just like a wife, brings you to completion. There's a certain quality of completion, a completion that a wife brings a person to, makes them more complete. So to the matzah is something, it's not just a regular old mitzvah, it brings us to completion. The special matzah, that night of Pesach, sets us up for the whole year. And it brings us a certain new jump, a quantum jump in our completion, which is really supposed to bring us closer to the ability to serve Hashem for the whole year. Bezrat Hashem, we should all be zoch, Bezrat Hashem, to have a wonderful, wonderful Pesach and a chametz-free Pesach on the outside, Bezrat Hashem also on the inside.